You wake up tired, even after sleeping 8 hours. You open your phone for just 2 minutes, and suddenly someone on YouTube is teaching you how to become a millionaire before breakfast. And somehow, before your day even starts, it already feels like you're behind. I used to think I had a motivation problem. I thought I needed more discipline, more productivity hacks, more wake up at 5 a.m. and become a machine videos. Turns out, I wasn't missing motivation. I was repeating tiny habits that were quietly stealing my life. And the weird part? None of them looked dangerous. They looked normal. These 8 habits changed the way I live my life. And one of them felt so small that I almost ignored it completely. But it ended up changing everything. The first one was stopping myself from touching my phone first thing in the morning. I know, you've heard this one before. I rolled my eyes too. Because I used to wake up and immediately start scrolling. Instagram, messages, random videos, news, memes, things I wasn't even interested in. And my brain would go from peaceful to chaos in less than 60 seconds. It's like inviting 50 strangers into your bedroom the moment you open your eyes. Imagine waking up and hearing, "Look at this car, look at this drama, look at this guy making $10 million, look at this cat dancing." Your brain doesn't even get a chance to remember who you are. So I made a simple rule: no phone for the first 30 minutes. At first it felt weird, like my hand had its own brain. I would literally reach for my phone automatically and suddenly realize, wait, what am I doing? But after a while, mornings started feeling different, quieter, lighter, like my brain finally had room to wake up. And that leads to the second habit, walking. Not for fitness, not to become some productivity superhero, just walking. Because I noticed something strange. Some of my best ideas never came while sitting at my desk. They came while walking. And sometimes I wasn't even thinking, I was just moving. It's funny because we sit to work, sit to eat, sit to watch things, sit to relax. At this point, chairs are basically raising us. But the human brain is weird. Movement changes something. Have you ever walked into another room and forgotten why you went there? Now imagine using that same brain to solve life problems while sitting in one position for 6 hours. Walking became my reset button. Whenever I felt stuck, overwhelmed, confused, I walked. No dramatic soundtrack, no mountain background, just me and my thoughts. Sometimes even my thoughts got tired and left me alone. And honestly, that was nice. The third habit was writing things down. Because I used to trust my memory. Big mistake. Huge mistake. My brain would suddenly remember important things at the most random moments. Taking a shower, trying to sleep, watching a movie, eating food. My brain would be like, "Remember that thing from 3 weeks ago? Thanks. Very useful." So I started carrying notes on my phone and writing things down immediately. Ideas, thoughts, goals, random observations. And something interesting happened. My brain relaxed. Because now it didn't need to hold everything. Imagine trying to carry 20 grocery bags at once. Eventually, you're dropping something. Writing things down felt like finally putting the bags down. Now, here's the habit I almost ignored. Protecting my energy. Not time. Energy. Because I used to think time was the problem. I don't have enough time. But then I realized 2 hours with energy feels completely different from 2 hours without it. You've probably felt this. Some days, 30 minutes feels powerful. Other days, even brushing your teeth feels like climbing a mountain. I started paying attention to things that drained me. Constant notifications, negative conversations, endless comparison, saying yes to things I didn't even want to do. And I realized something uncomfortable. Sometimes we don't lose energy, we give it away. The fifth habit was learning to sit in silence. No music, no videos, no scrolling, just silence. And in the beginning, I hated it, because silence is weird. Silence starts asking questions. Questions like, are you actually happy? Why are you avoiding that thing? What are you running from? And suddenly opening YouTube sounds very attractive. But over time, I realized something. Silence wasn't empty, it was full. I had just been too distracted to hear anything. The sixth habit was reading more and consuming less random content. Because I noticed something. I could watch 30 short videos and remember almost nothing, but one good idea from a book could stay in my head for months. It's like eating snacks all day versus eating an actual meal. One leaves you full, the other leaves you wondering why you're still hungry. The seventh habit was stopping the habit of always waiting for motivation. Because motivation is unreliable. Motivation disappears fast, especially when your bed is warm. especially when the weather says stay under blanket forever. I stopped asking, do I feel like doing this, and started asking, can I do just 2 minutes? That's it, 2 minutes. Because starting is usually the hardest part. The brain loves turning tiny tasks into giant monsters. You look at one small thing and your brain acts like you're preparing for war. But once you start, most of the resistance disappears. And the last habit. This one changed more than I expected. I stopped trying to change my whole life overnight. Because I used to do that all the time. New routine, new goals, new personality, new life starting Monday. And somehow, by Thursday, I was back eating snacks and watching videos at 1 a.m. like nothing happened. I realized real change doesn't usually arrive like fireworks. It arrives quietly. Tiny choices, repeated daily. Almost invisible at first, until one day you look back and think, wait, I react differently now. I think differently now. I live differently now. And that's the strange thing about changing your life. Most of the time, it doesn't feel like changing your life. It feels like doing small, boring things nobody notices, until eventually you meet a version of yourself that feels unfamiliar. Not because you became someone else, but because you finally became someone you were slowly supposed to become all along.